Financial Secretary Paul Chen has pledged to strengthen tourism infrastructure and make every part of the city a tourist destination. An inquest into the Llama ferry disaster, which claimed the lives of 39 people in 2012, is set to begin on Tuesday. And veteran investor Warren Buffett has announced he will retire as chief executive of Berkshire Hathaway at the end of the year. Good evening. You're watching Cable News. I'm Quentin Yang. Financial Secretary Paul Chen has pledged to enhance visitor experiences and strengthen tourism infrastructure as nearly 700,000 mainland tourists entered Hong Kong during the first 3 days of the Golden Week holiday. Evelyn Bai reports.
Writing on his weekly blog, Chen reviewed that every part of the city should become a tourist destination so that the economic benefits of the industry can be shared by everyone. Leveraging Hong Kong's rich and colorful charm, dazzling scenery, and a unique culture that blends East and West, Chen emphasized the need to create more places in the city worth visiting again and again. To move forward in that direction, Chen highlighted plans to turn the area around the Hong Kong Coliseum in Hong Kong into a landmark waterfront destination with a yacht marina and a 50-story tower equipped with entertainment facilities. The roughly $20 billion project will be completed over the next decade. Ongoing development of the 60-kilometer round the island trail will connect the harbourfront on Hong Kong Island's northern shore with promenades and countryside walking trails in southern districts. Nearly 80% of the trail has been linked up, and the whole project will be completed by 2031, Chen said. Upgrading tourism infrastructure is necessary to boost capacity and maintain Hong Kong's competitive edge as a tourist hub, Chen added. Evelyn Bai, Cable News.
13 years after Hong Kong's deadliest civilian maritime tragedy that claimed 39 lives, a coroner's inquest into the 2012 Llama Island ferry collision is set to begin on Tuesday. The investigation marks a pivotal moment for grieving families who are seeking accountability and closure for the death of their loved ones.
Following years of legal battles, the Court of Appeal will re-examine the circumstances of the accident and address unresolved questions about safety failures. The court had ordered the inquest after an earlier plea by the families of the victims to launch an investigation was dismissed by the High Court. On October 1, 2012, the Llama 4, a boat carrying 124 passengers who were out to enjoy the National Day fireworks, collided with the ferry Sea Smooth off Llama Island. The Llama 4 took water and sank in under 2 minutes, killing 39 people, including 8 children. Investigations later revealed fatal design flaws in the vessel's watertight doors. Also, there were insufficient life jackets on board. The captains of both vessels were convicted of safety failures, and 2 Marine Department staff were sentenced for mishandling inspections. But the families of the deceased argued systemic negligence, including lax oversight of modifications done to the ship, fueling their 13-year fight for answers. The inquest is expected to last 60 days and will hear testimonies from 410 witnesses, including maritime experts, and review new evidence about the Llama 4's structural deficiencies. Survivor Chiu Ping Chun, who lost his sister in the tragedy, stated that he had made a promise at her grave to uncover the truth. Those who hid facts must come forward, he added. Chiu stressed that the inquest isn't about criminal liability anymore. It's about ensuring such a tragedy never happens again.
Top officials from Beijing and Hong Kong attended a flag-raising ceremony commemorating the 106th anniversary of the May 4th movement. Sherry Yuan reports.
The flag-raising ceremony was held at 8 a.m. at Golden Bohemia Square on the Wan Chai waterfront. Chief Secretary Eric Chen, Deputy Director of the Liaison Office Liu Guangyuan, Deputy Commissioner of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs Pan Yuandong officiated at the ceremony. A group of 1,200 young people from the disciplinary services, along with students from primary and secondary schools, took part in the event. War veterans were also invited, as this year also marks the 80th anniversary of the victory of the Chinese People's War of Resistance against Japanese aggression during the Second World War.
今日見到佢哋嘅粗暴嘅精神，十分可嘉，而且係用中式步伐。
One veteran commended the spirit of the marching, particularly the use of Chinese-style foot drills. The May 4th movement, which commenced in 1919, was categorized by student-led protest against the transfer of Chinese territories from Germany to Japan. Cheryl Yun, Cable News.
A survey by the Society for Community Organization revealed a concerning trend where most children and adolescents from underprivileged families in Hong Kong hold pessimistic views about their future. The group pressed for stronger mental health support and a more inclusive environment for these vulnerable youth. Cheryl Yun again has the story.
During the one-year study, which ended in February this year, the human rights advocacy group interviewed over 600 adolescents and youngsters aged between 5 and 20 years. Close to 90% were from disadvantaged households. Those living in subdivided flats and new immigrant families displayed significantly higher tendencies towards depression and anxiety compared to their peers from average households. They cited poor physical health, limited economic resources, bullying, social exclusion, and academic pressures as key reasons. SOCO's Deputy Director C. Lai Shan called for extra support for underprivileged teens, covering medical, educational, and societal needs, and suggested government subsidies in the form of meal vouchers to improve students' well-being. The group also urged the government to reconsider scrapping the annual $2,500 student grant, noting its critical role for families in need. Cheryl Yun, Cable News.
Singapore's People's Action Party has secured a landslide victory in the general election, winning 87 parliamentary seats and extending its six-decade rule over the Southeast Asian island nation. Prime Minister Lawrence Wong thanked voters for their clear signal of trust and confidence, and pledged to unite the nation and its people amid global uncertainties. Sherry Yun reports.
The dust has settled on Singapore's 14th general election, and Prime Minister Lawrence Wong has delivered an exemplary report card in his first electoral test as the country's leader, which concluded with a turnout rate of 92.5%.
Thank you, Muslim Youth voters, for the strong mandate that you have given to me and my team. We are very grateful from the bottom of our hearts. This is my first election as Prime Minister and as Secretary General of the PAP.
The PAP secured an overwhelming 87 of the 97 parliamentary seats up for grabs, earning 65.6% of the national vote, up from 61% in the 2020 election. Meanwhile, the main opposition Workers' Party failed to capture more seats, but held on to its 10 seats in parliament. The victory is expected to be a big boost for Wong's leadership, who became prime minister last year when his predecessor Lee Hsien Loong stepped down after 2 decades in office. The PAP has governed Singapore since 1959, making it one of the world's longest-ruling political parties. Cheryl Yun, Cable News.
Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese swung past a so-called incumbency curse to get re-elected with a landslide victory. His centre-left Labour Party clinched at least 85 seats in the 151-member lower house, decisively defeating the Liberal National Coalition, which collapsed to a historic low with just 40 seats.
I was always pretty positive about an outcome, and I knew that we had a positive agenda. The Australian people voted for unity rather than division.
Albanese, the first Prime Minister in over 20 years to win re-election, pledged to address housing affordability, climate change, and Indigenous reconciliation. The victory marked a stunning rebound for Albanese, whose approval ratings were at a record low last year, following a post-pandemic economic downturn. His opposition rival Peter Dutton of the Liberal National Party, dubbed as Australia's Trump, led the coalition to its worst electoral performance in decades, losing his own Queensland seat after 24 years. Underscoring stability and rejecting polarizing policies, Australian voters put their faith in Albanese, who said the country finds its values in its people and does not need inspiration from overseas.
Renowned investor Warren Buffett has decided to step down as chief executive of Berkshire Hathaway at the end of the year. The 94-year-old will be handing over the reins of the company to vice chairman Greg Abel. Evelyn Bai reports.
Buffett, who owns over $160 billion in Berkshire Hathaway, dropped a bombshell at the conclusion of the company's annual meeting.
The time has arrived where Greg should become the chief executive officer of the company at year end. I have no intention, zero, of selling one share of Berkshire Hathaway. It'll get given away gradually. The decision to keep every share is an economic decision because I think the prospects of Berkshire will be better under Greg's management than mine.
In 1965, Buffett took control of a struggling textile mill in New Bedford, Massachusetts, called Berkshire Hathaway. He then turned it around into a giant conglomerate valued at more than $1 trillion. Today, Berkshire Hathaway owns more than 60 companies, including insurer Geico, battery maker Duracell, and restaurant chain Dairy Queen. It also has major stakes in Apple, Coca-Cola, Bank of America, and American Express, among others. Evelyn Bai, Cable News.
On to the weather now. Mainly cloudy with a few showers tomorrow. Hot and sunny in the afternoon with a maximum temperature of 31 degrees. Possibility of a few isolated thunderstorms later in the day. Now let's take a look at the weather around the world. That's our news tonight. I'm Quentin Yang. Thank you for watching. Good night.